Hi guys, good morning. This is Miss Ortiz, and today I am here to talk to y'all about complex sentences. This is just a review. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Let's start talking about the parts of a complex sentence. So, as you probably remember from last year, there are three parts to a complex sentence. You have an independent clause, okay, and you also have a dependent clause, and then you have something in the middle that joins them together called a subordinating conjunction, okay? So an independent clause is a simple sentence that really can stand all by itself. Typically, these little sentences are short and sweet, but they can stand all by themselves and still make sense, okay? Unlike the dependent part of the sentence, which is actually just, you can think of it as like a part of a sentence that by itself cannot make sense. All right, so it needs to be joined together with an independent sentence. So independent plus a dependent. All right, let's talk about what this glue though is. So what is it that connects the two, independent and dependent? Again, it's called a subordinating conjunction, and here are just a short list of what those words could look like. There's actually a longer list of subordinating conjunctions, and if you Google this, you will find a complete list. Okay, but for now, here are the most common ones. Okay, let's move on and take a look at an example. All right, let's look at the sentence. I would like to go on a run unless it is raining. If you look at the first part of the sentence in blue, I would like to go on a run, that sentence makes sense all by itself. So we can call that the independent clause. Whereas the second part of the sentence, unless it is raining, you can't just go up to somebody and say, hey, unless it is raining, because that would not make sense. It's just a part of a sentence. So we're going to call it the dependent. Another way that you know that it's the dependent part of the sentence is because it begins with this subordinating conjunction. So if you ever have a subordinating conjunction in your sentence, so if you ever have any one of these words in your sentence, you know, number one, it's a complex sentence. And number two, you know that the part of the sentence that it is beginning with is the dependent part. Okay, this word will always begin the dependent part of the sentence. All right, so independent, subordinating conjunction, plus the dependent. Let's go ahead and look at another example. We listen to music because it helps us focus on our work. Okay, so we listen to music, that part of the sentence can stand all by itself and it still makes sense. So that is the independent. And then because it helps us focus on our work, we know that's the dependent part of the sentence because number one, it doesn't make sense if you just say that by itself, right? It needs more. And also because it has the word because at the front. So that would mean that the dependent clause is beginning. All right? Now I'm going to switch things up on you. Okay, up until now, we've been talking about sentences where it was independent first and then dependent. But what happens when you switch the order? What happens when the dependent clause, that part of the sentence, comes before the independent part? Okay, well, the sentence will still totally make sense. It'll still convey the exact same meaning. The only difference is that you need a comma now. If you have the dependent first, you definitely need a comma before that independent part starts. So let's take a look at an example of that. Okay, this is the exact same example as before. All I did was flip the order, right? So unless it is raining, comma, I would like to go on a run. Same meaning, I just have the dependent first, and so I gotta put a comma in between that dependent and independent. All right, let's do one more example. Okay, because it helps us focus on our work, we listen to music. Again, that independent part comes second, right? We begin with the subordinating conjunction, so that means we begin with the with the dependent part of the sentence, and so we need a comma. And all right, guys, that was pretty much your review on complex sentences. All right, so now your task is to go onto Schoology and complete the Identifying Complex Sentence Parts assignment. Please direct any questions to your teacher. Good luck.